Knowledge is power. Combine that with 100,000 watts of power, and you've got the most important talk station in Oklahoma. We're the new Freedom 96.9 and freedom969.com. Freedom
Weather.
Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. Today will be sunny with lower humidity, making it not as hot with a high of 93. Tonight, expect clear skies with a low of 63. Tomorrow will bring plenty of sunshine with a high of 94. Moving into Monday, anticipate mostly sunny skies and very warm weather with a high of 98. By Tuesday, expect a mix of sun and clouds with toasty conditions and a high of 102. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station. The new Freedom 96.9, Oklahoma's talk radio.
Broadcasting live from the command center of Freedom 96.9 in Oklahoma City, it's McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma. Saving lives, protecting property, fortifying Oklahoma, one roof at a time. I'm Rick Allen Lippert here with Hague Certified Master Level Damage Inspector, Oklahoma Licensed Public Adjuster, Fortified Evaluator, and IBHS Fortified Roofing Contractor, Scott McCullum.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Scotty McCullum has the day off.
Not really.
A day off from radio. Joining us, though, later on will be Brenda Perkins. She is with Brava Roofing Tiles, and you will not believe what this stuff is. And you can actually see it up close and personal to a degree.
Yeah.
Right here in Oklahoma City. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Hey, Retro Radio Randy is off probation again today.
No way. I don't know how long he'll stay off.
And we're happy for that. And you can talk to him when you call 405-608-4377. We are live streaming today on the YouTube channel. Scott's waving at you. My hand is in there right now.
Yeah.
And we're live streaming the audio on freedom969.com. We'll start as usual with our word of the week and trivia question. The phone number to answer that trivia question or to just ask one is 405-608-4377. And later we'll have some Surviving the Storm tips brought to you by Roof RX, and we'll wrap up with Dad's Wisdom. Coming back from breaks, some genuinely obscure historical trivia. So I got to teach again this week out at the FAA, teaching.
So you were off probation.
I was off probation.
Okay.
But because I'm not a regular employee, I have to go through the checkpoint Charlie to get on the campus. And so I go around to the back and then hand the guy my driver's license, and he comes back with my credentials and a note that read, "Remember to say that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 80000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing."
Wow.
I don't know how your attorney does it. He knows my schedule better than I do.
He's on top of things, that's for sure.
Okay, so let's get started with our trivia question, shall we? It's been hot this week, and this question relates to that.
It sure does. So it's 4 p.m. and the ambient temp is 105 degrees. What is the temperature on an asphalt shingle roof? Is it A, 130 to 145, B, 146 to 160, C, 161 to 175, or D, 176 to 190 degrees?
If you think you know the answer to that, give us a call at 405-608-4377. The winner will get their choice of books, either Raving Fans or Unreasonable Hospitality, or 2 free tickets to Carpenter Square Theater's production of King James, which will be coming up in September.
Okay.
It's a play about 2 guys having an unlikely friendship over their mutual adoration of a certain basketball star who's headed to Cleveland.
Can't imagine. No,
Yeah.
Can't imagine who that is.
Yeah.
Can't imagine who that is.
It's a fun play. It's
He's not headed to Cleveland anymore. Philadelphia.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
That sounds like a fun one, though.
So anyway, our trivia question again. It's 4 p.m. and the ambient temperature is 105 degrees. What is the temperature on top of an asphalt shingle roof? A, 130 to 145. B, 146 to 160. C, 161 to 175. Or D, 176 to 190 degrees. 405-608-4377. And you need to call quickly because here in a few minutes, Brenda Perkins will be calling in from Ohio, and she takes up the Dixie Cup on our end of the line.
You're either gonna call early, you're gonna call late, or you ain't gonna call at all.
That's
so
right.
Anyway, yeah,
That's
and
right.
I know some people that should know the answer to that question. I was out with a neighborhood association here close to us the other day, and we talked about this. So
Okay.
I know at least that room full of people should know the answer to this question.
All right. Well, Benny, if you're listening, you might wait till after Brenda.
No,
to see.
Benny, wait for some of your friends and neighbors to call.
That's
okay?
right. Yeah.
Give
Let someone
give
else.
them a shot.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so while we're waiting for Brenda to, we have the word of the week. So let's get into that before we.
We do have the word of the week, and as y'all know, I always try to tie these things together in some way. So the word today is thermography.
Thermography.
Thermography, and we're talking specifically thermography in roofing. So in roofing, thermography is non-invasive inspection method that uses infrared thermal imaging to detect temperature variations on a roof surface, revealing hidden issues such as moisture intrusion, insulation defects, air leaks that are not visible to the naked eye.
Okay.
That's what thermography. So when people say, when people ask Roof RX, do you do thermals? That's what they're asking us.
Okay.
Do we do thermal scans of roofs? And the answer is absolutely we do.
And so just to kind of visualize this, you have an apparatus of some kind that takes
on the drone.
On the drone, okay.
Or people can,
a camera.
Yes. Right.
And then there's first off, the camera has to see infrared light.
Correct.
And then,
which is basically detecting temperature differentials in that structure.
Right.
Okay?
And so that's displayed on a screen.
You're going to have colors, and your different colors. There's going to be a scale that associates what that color probably means. Points out areas where you may then need to do some invasive investigations like core samples or actually removing something to see what's really going on. So it's a diagnostic tool,
right?
All right, that leads you to either, hey, everything's great, we don't see anything that looks like an anomaly or unexpected in this report, or hey, we've got these 16 areas on this 50,000 square foot roof that we need to take a deeper look at. That's how we use that.
To equate it to something that everyone has probably seen, on the evening news on the weather, they show a map of the state with the temperatures from around the state, and there are variations in the colors of the temperatures of the cities and towns around the state based on the temperature. It's something along those lines.
If you're looking at one of these reports, you're going to see everything that ranges through the color spectrum, from very, very light colors, light blues, greens, and then you're going to get into the very, very bright colors of the bright yellows and reds and things like that. Basically, it's giving you the differentials throughout that roof, and you know where you need to go and look. Example of this, when we did this, we've talked about this before, we had a high-rise here in Oklahoma City that we had done a thermal on, and we identified the areas that were potentially areas of concern, then went out and did some manual, some invasive type testing to confirm. There were 18, I believe, areas located on the thermal scan. When we actually did our physical investigations, most of that did not end up being water. Most of that was air leakage or something else that was creating that temperature differential. But we did identify 5 areas that were obviously water intrusion, saturated insulation, that kind of thing. We went in and were able to address those issues. And lo and behold, through the spring storm season this year, the gentleman had no water anywhere in his building for the first time in 5 years.
Wow, how about that?
That's how that works.
Using science to improve our lives.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. It's amazing. Amazing.
Speaking of science, wow, I've just heard of the wildest story about how these tiles are made that are on top of the Stanley Rother Shrine.
What tiles are you talking about?
The roofing tiles. And Scott, you were telling me that they're made by a company called Brava Roofing Tiles.
Brava Roofing Tile.
And we just happened to have Brenda Perkins on the line with Brava Roofing Tiles. Hello, Brenda. Are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning to you. All right, I've teed it up. Now, Scott, you take over and talk to Brenda, and let's hear her story.
Well, Brenda, good morning. First of all, thank you so much for being here with us. I appreciate it, and hope all's well in your world this morning. You have a busy week this week?
I do have a busy week, and I appreciate being here. I appreciate the invitation. It's nice to be here.
Well, thank you very much. So tell me a little bit so people will know. Tell us a little bit about Brenda, first of all. Tell us about kind of your background and experience and what you're doing with Brava Roofing Tile right now.
Sure. So Brenda Perkins, I actually am Brava's insurance advocacy consultant. And just a little bit about that journey, I have spent over 30 years with 3 national carriers in executive roles. I stepped away from the insurance industry, and I actually met the Brava leadership team when I was on a plant tour of their facility as a homeowner. I actually had contracted with a contractor to put Brava on my home. So I led a roofing committee in our HOA, and Brava was the product that we really vetted out. So I wanted to see it for my own eyes, meet the team. I will tell you, I was so impressed with what they were doing and even more impressed with the product that I decided to step back in, but from a different perspective, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so really excited about working with Brava. They have really high-quality, resilient roofing, talking about science. They have a lot of scientists who actually work there to develop the product. And we're really proactively working in the insurance space to really educate and influence, whether it's regulators, carriers, contractors, homeowners. And again, I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited to be part of this opportunity this morning with you guys and share more about that.
Well, and that is so consistent with what we're all about, Brenda, here. Mm-hmm. This program is entitled Fortifying Oklahoma. And, of course, mm-hmm. we're at ground zero of the most severe convective storm area in the world. And so we're all about resilience as well. So tell me about the people at Brava. What impressed you? We'll talk about the product after our break, but what impressed you about the people there that would make you think, hey, I like this. I could bite into this.
Well, I think, first of all, to me, they're just good people, right? And that's always a litmus test for me. But I think the bigger piece that attracted me was how proactive they already were around data, the science, the commitment to a really resilient product that actually does not harm the environment. And so all of that really resonated with me.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, I was just thinking, and I also, they believe in what they're doing, and they're very committed to making sure that we're building back better. You talk about that, Scott. I've heard you say that before. And I think that's one of the things that's so impressive to me. We have to be better. We can't keep putting homeowners, people, communities through the aftermath that these catastrophes are happening and coming from the insurance industry. they're building, as we all know, and they're building in every part of the country. So we're seeing things much more severe and much more frequently than we ever did before.
Okay. And you know, the way I say it is when we replace what has failed us continually for the last 70 years or so, like we have done, that's the definition of insanity to me, Brenda.
Correct. I agree. I totally agree. I was thinking that exact same thing when you were saying that. And, you know, I think, again, we're trying to, here at Brava, we continue to improve our process. We have extremely high quality that have met all the standards, met the fortified. You talk about Oklahoma there. We were actually with the Oklahoma commissioner and his team, their team there, probably 2 weeks ago. We've met with Colorado, Alabama. We're talking to California in a few weeks. And we presented in front of all the commissioners at the National Association of Insurance Commissioners convention in last December. So we're very proactive in making sure that we're really understanding what states need, and we're really trying to partner with them.
Okay, Brenda, we have to take a break right now, but stick around. We'll just be gone for a minute and a half, and then we'll be back and talk to you more. I want to hear what you have to say, what the product is made of.
We're going to get into what the product is in a minute.
You're listening to McRoof. You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. We'll be right back.
Every property owner knows the pain of rising insurance costs, higher premiums, higher deductibles, and more exclusions than ever before. You may have even received a non-renewal notice or a letter stating your roof no longer meets our underwriting requirements and your policy will be canceled in 30 days. You don't know the condition of your roof, you're not a roofer, but neither does the underwriter, and they're making decisions that affect your coverage. RoofRx brings clarity to where uncertainty once lived. We're not roofers looking for work. We're certified inspectors dedicated to truth and transparency. We combine state-of-the-art imaging with generations of roofing expertise to reveal the true condition of your roof and maximize its remaining life. We turn complex data into a clear prescription: what can be maintained, what needs repaired, and what needs replaced. We perform and document that work for you and your insurance carrier and provide the peace of mind of lifetime workmanship warranties and money-back guarantees. It's not about replacing roofs. It's about helping you understand the true condition of your roof, mitigate your risk, and protect your insurability. RoofRx, the prescription for your ailing roof.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for this live call-in show Saturday morning on Freedom 96.9. On this date in 1781, the British Army under General Cornwallis occupied Yorktown, Virginia. Ultimately led to the end of the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder how that ended.
Cornwallis later surrendered. And then a few years later, 1794, on August 1st, 1794, the Whiskey Rebellion happened in western Pennsylvania. It was a short-lived rebellion. Our new government taxed whiskey, and the farmers out in western Pennsylvania didn't much care for that. And actually, George Washington had to go in and, as president, lead the army in there to quell the rebellion.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
We are talking with Brenda Perkins with Brava Roofing Tile. She's on the long line today. Brenda, we want to hear more about the product itself.
So, Brenda, tell us what Brava really is.
I will try my best. I will absolutely do that. So we'll see if this all works out. I'm kidding. So Brava Tile is a synthetic roof tile, and it's made to look like cedar shake, slate, or Spanish barrel tile. We are working on developing another flat roof product that probably won't come out for a couple of years because we do put a lot of testing into it. but it really is something that we're proud of. It's made of 85% recycled material. We do have the ability when a product, a piece comes off, we can actually regrind that and put that back in. So we're putting less into the landfills, and we're pretty proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that we also are extremely proud of is how resilient it is. And our product is, Class A fire rated, and that's important in some parts of the country. But it's Class 4 impact resistance. And I can tell you, I lived in Texas. I know in Oklahoma that's not always a good thing, but I lived in Texas, and the hail that we used to have there, like you have there in Oklahoma, is pretty significant. And we actually just had very similar hail where I'm at today. And my Brava roof, nothing. My neighbors on both sides are both replacing their roofs, and both are going with the Brava roof tile. So pretty strong stand up there. Wind resistance, we can, with ring shank nails, 188 miles per hour wind resistance, and we do have an actuarial study that confirms that out of Florida after our product went through both Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, and 211 miles an hour with high wind screws. So like I said, we're very proud of that. It comes in significant, color choices, and that's another unique part of the product. Our product is compression molded, which means we are able to actually use mineral color pellets as opposed to injection molding. And that means that the color is not going to fade. We've got a 50-year warranty on our product, and we actually have product that sits, as you said, on the shrine there in Oklahoma City, but we have it all over the country, including the Disney properties down in Florida. Wow. So, again, we feel very strongly about this product. We continue to have our scientists testing to increase and be fortified, meet all the fortified standards. We work with IBHS to make sure that we are really putting out the best product possible, and we're continuing to improve upon that. So go ahead.
So there's a couple things I want to ask you.
Sure.
To me, I kind of look at this, and to me, it's a little bit like Play-Doh when I look at kind of the way the product is made. Is that a good analogy or not really?
It is. I mean, the product, the raw materials are tested from the beginning of when they come into the plant, and then they're molded, mixed together. To your point, they're like a Play-Doh, put into the compression machine, compression molded. It's trimmed to make sure that it actually, each individual piece looks like it should, like the natural component of it.
Right. The thing that I love about it is when you look at it and you're looking at the edges of it and you're looking at the product, it's not like some products where it looks like it's got a painted finish or it has, things just applied to it. The coloration, the variations, what you would call the veining or whatever is actually in the product. And it's beautiful to look at. It's absolutely beautiful to look at.
Thank you.
I think that the Stanley Rother Shrine here in Oklahoma City, everyone that drives up and down 35, one of the most beautiful examples in the world of the aesthetics of Brava roofing tile. I think most people would drive by that and everyone would assume that is some Spanish tile or something like that. They don't recognize that as a composite product. And they also don't recognize that there are 2 or 3 different Brava products on that roof because of the different shapes on that structure. So it's a beautiful example of what Brava is architecturally.
And Brenda, before you get into a long answer, we have a hard break for the news that we have to take, because the computer will cut us off whether we're finished or not. Stick around. Brenda Perkins, Brava Roofing Tile. You can see the work on the Father Stanley Rother Shrine in South Oklahoma City. You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma. We'll be back after the news.
We're talking about news and opinions from D.C. to OKC. We're Oklahoma's talk radio. The new Freedom 96.9, freedom969.com, and on the Freedom app. Freedom
Weather.
Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. Today will be sunny with lower humidity, making it not as hot with a high of 93. Tonight, expect clear skies with a low of 63. Tomorrow will bring plenty of sunshine with a high of 94. Moving into Monday, anticipate mostly sunny skies and very warm weather with a high of 98. By Tuesday, expect a mix of sun and clouds with toasty conditions and a high of 102. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station. The new Freedom 96.9, Oklahoma's talk radio.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the second half of this morning's live call-in show. On this date of August the 1st, 1867, black men got to vote for the first time in a state election, and that state was Tennessee. On this date of 1911, Harriet Quimby became the first U.S. woman to earn her aviator's certificate. And then on this date in 1932, Scott, I bet you have one of these in your pocket or in your truck. The George Washington Quarter.
Okay, yeah.
Went into circulation on this date in 1932.
Not in my pocket because I don't carry change.
Me
in my
either,
pocket,
but I have them in the car. All right, we are talking with Brenda Perkins of Brava Roofing Tile, and this is an amazing product. And gosh, I wish I had it on my roof.
I want to back up just a little bit if we can for a minute, Brenda. You talk about the product and all of the testing and the science and trying to build that resiliency and the performance in for the consuming marketplace. One of the things that you talked about in addition to that, though, is when you were talking about warranties and particularly wind, you were talking about different install methods. And I think that that's something that's really, really, really important. I've said for a long time, you can take the greatest product on the face of the earth and put it in the hands of someone who should not be installing it, who does not know what they're doing, and get a bad install, and you're not going to get the benefits from that product. So how does Brava really go about managing the install side of things? You have a preferred contractor network, or do you have a credential, or how does Brava handle that part of it?
Yeah, so we vet out the contractors that are going to represent and put Brava, on a home for us. And a couple of things that we do is we do a lot of training. Some of it is just self-service, online type of training. We do training in markets. In fact, our team was out in Vancouver here this last week, and all over the country. But we actually do training and certifications along the way. So to get to a level 2 for us, they have to be able to demonstrate that they can actually do that. And part of how they do that is an integration form and process that we use. We have tools called Company Cam. We have tools where we're uploading digital photos, drone video, and different things like that we're feeding right into our system. And our technical services and our scientists are actually looking at what's going on. So we are understanding what's happening. When a contractor gets to a certain level of volume that they've done, so they have done enough Brava roof installs and we feel good about where they are at, we will ask certain ones to actually become a master for us and a master contractor. And that is someone who is really confident with them, understands that, to do it, your point, you have to install it correctly. We expect at that level you're going to be, you're not doing one Brava roof a year. Not that that's bad, but to get to those levels, we really want to make sure that expertise is there and they're using the right method. They're checking to make sure that the ventilation is there. They're checking to make sure that, the decking is all correct and the right fasteners or screws are going down depending on, the environment and what's needed for that particular home.
Well, you did kind of tease one of the things that we talk about here all the time when you mentioned the ring shank nails, and then you went beyond the ring shank nails even to the what we would call hurricane screws. So
right.
it's just, there are iterations of everything, and when we talk about Code Plus roofing, when we talk about building back better, when we talk about the IBHS fortified programs and things like that, when we talk about products like Brava, the conversations that you're having around resilience, it sounds like you're having those with all kinds of different groups of people. Where do you see the greatest resistance to the conversations about resilience? Where is the resistance coming from? Because I watch community after community after community rebuild exactly what just failed them. And I know that y'all just had probably another $1 billion hailstorm in Chicagoland last week.
Correct.
And you will sit there and watch them largely rebuild exactly what just failed them. How do we change that?
I think a lot of it is education, and there's so many stakeholders when I think about that particular comment. So that's part of what we're trying to do here at Brava. Some of it is the carriers, helping them understand that synthetics have come a long way, right? So everybody's really comfortable with composite decking. They're not as knowledgeable or understanding of synthetic roofs. So I think getting them to understand it, the people, the CAP modeling teams and companies who feed the information in to the carriers is important. Helping the regulators understand it, right? They're all trying to do different things. And what's interesting is if you go back to the state of Alabama and they call it the Sally report, it was after Hurricane Sally, it's very clear that the economics to rebuild more resilient are there.
Yes.
I think it's harder for consumers to understand that. And I think that's something where educating more contractors so that they can help educate consumers. But that's on the manufacturers as well. And that's part of what we're trying to do is help consumers understand sometimes it is a little bit of an investment up front, right? But with what's happening with the insurance coverage that's going on, especially around roofs, it's important for people to understand that that investment is going to potentially save their life, right? If the roof isn't coming off, there's less chance someone's going to get hurt. There's less damage to communities. There's less impact all the way around for that community to be able to get back to, air quote, normal life.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do here. So it is not an easy task, and we're at the early part of this, I think.
Yeah.
It's really making sure that people really are understanding what this can do for them.
Well, and I think that part of the conversation has to be about, it's not just a roof, and I spend a lot of my life trying to educate people about the importance of a roof. And the fact that that's the number one weather shedding system in every structure on the face of the planet, and we cannot afford to commoditize or dumb it down. If you're going to make decisions about where to invest in your property and you're in this situation where you have an opportunity to build back better with an investment on your part, coupled with the funds that are coming from potentially an insurance claim, those kinds of things, that's what really needs to be done. I like when you talk about data, and I think about the Hurricane Sally study out of the University of Alabama. I think about things like the actuarial studies that you guys have undertaken, that other people have undertaken about resilience. I don't have that kind of study myself, but I have years and years and years of experience in what I have built and put into the consuming marketplace. And I know that my failure rates, my replacement rates are minuscule compared to the industry at large. And that's really, resilience doesn't cost money. Yes, it has a price tag up front. But resilience over time is always going to be a win, and that's a societal win. And, that's really where we've got to get the conversations.
Agreed. And I think that's what, as a manufacturer, that's part of what Brava is trying to do. They were very, as soon as they found out my background, they said, oh, my gosh, can you help us? We've already kind of started a little bit down this path,
right,
but we need some help. And they're very supportive of what we're, trying to accomplish, and they've been committed. I've been working with them now since May of 25. So this isn't something they're doing for 30 days and then off to the next thing, right? This is their business. All we do at Brava is manufacture roof tiles. We don't do windows. We don't, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Right,
I'm just saying we really specialize and focus on that.
Well, I know we've got a couple minutes left, Brenda, but one of the things that I know is on your agenda coming up in October is the Private Risk Managers Association convention in Indianapolis. Correct. And that's a place where, again, that particular universe is a place where you guys will get a lot of play. And I'm really excited that you're going to be there. RoofRx will be there, along with all of these other great companies that are in the business of saving lives and protecting property and reducing risks. So I think that's going to be a great opportunity for Brava, and super excited that we're going to get to see you guys there in October.
Great. Thank you. We're very excited about it as well, and we definitely will be there. So, again, I appreciate the time this morning and have enjoyed the show so far.
Well, we appreciate you, Brenda. How would consumers or contractors or someone who wanted to learn more about Brava give us that website, or tell us how they would reach out to someone for more information?
Sure. BravaRoofTile.com. You can find us right there. There's all kinds of, you can go online and actually submit a request, or you can give us a call as well.
That's great. Brenda, we appreciate you this morning, and I hope you have a super weekend and have a good week next week, okay?
Thank you. You all do the same.
Thanks for your
Take
time.
care.
Bye-bye.
And thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Brenda Perkins, Bravo Roof Tile. Wow, what a great product.
It really is.
I need to get down to see this Father Stanley Rother shrine, to see that stuff up close and personal.
Well, I've got it in my warehouse, so when next time you're up there doing something, just
all right. So let's take our final break for the day. Our trivia question is still out there. It's 4 p.m. and the ambient temperature is 105. What's the temperature on an asphalt shingle roof? 130 to 145 degrees, 146 to 160, 161 to 175, or 176 to 190 degrees. Give us a call, 405-608-4377. Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army Horse Cavalry and was stationed at Fort Bliss. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy flew a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy, on November 11, 1943, when his crew, along with 31 other bombers, destroyed a ball-bearing plant in occupied France. On a return trip, a mechanical failure caused the Yankee Doodle Dandy to drop out of formation, leaving it vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109s shot down the plane near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board, the others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 23 years of service with many awards and commendations, including the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Purple Heart, and multiple air medals. Homer Stacy McCollum, Scott McCollum's dad. Scott McCollum is McRoof. McRoof.us is owned and operated by the McCollum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to fortify your property, call McRoof.us at 405-877-4663. Ask for your complimentary roof inspection performed by a credentialed Hague residential inspector. McRoof.us, saving lives and protecting property by fortifying Oklahoma, one roof at a time. McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma, back on the air for the final segment of this morning's live call-in show on Freedom 96.9. On this date of August 1st, 1941, the first Jeep was produced by the Willis Overland Company, and I only mention that because I used to have a 1959 Willis. Oh, I had so much fun in that. It was my surfmobile, and I'll just leave it at that. 1972, on this date, the first article exposing the Watergate scandal was published in the Washington Post by Woodward and Bernstein. And then on this date in 1981, I remember it well. Randy, you recall what the first video played on the new MTV? Yeah. Yeah, and that's very prophetic. I would argue the opposite, but so yes. Yeah, well, yeah, but we're also not playing music. Okay, our good friend Benny is on the phone to give us a shot at the trivia question. Hello, Benny.
Good morning, gentlemen. This route's practically on the ground.
Well, for those folks who may have just tuned in, let me tee it up for them.
Sure.
It's 4 p.m. and the ambient temperature is 105 degrees. What is the temperature on an asphalt shingle roof? Is it A, 130 to 145 degrees, 140B, 146 to 160 degrees, C, 161 to 175, or D, 176 to 180, or 190 rather?
Well, as a young man, I carried many bundles of shingles up on roofs to help friends that were, whose parents were doing new roofs.
Yeah.
We were young men.
Yeah.
And it is D.
Very
All
good,
right.
Benny.
Way
Very
to go,
good.
Benny. Way to
Hey.
go, Benny. So,
Well, I need to improve my batting average while I can.
yeah. Well, I tell you what, and obviously there's a range there, and it's going to vary a little bit based on the exposure, north, south, east, or west, and based on the color of the roof.
Right.
Not nearly as much about the color of the roof as people would think, though. But to some
I've
degree,
learned that a while back in one of your programs.
Yeah, yeah. So,
But I do have some info, having grown up in the central San Joaquin Valley.
okay.
And your guest, Brenda, very, very great interview and very educational. She talked about one of their products, the barrel tile.
Uh-huh.
If you look at the roofs on like Aerial America when they do a California travelogue thing,
Right.
those clay tiles are essentially cut in half, and you have under and over.
Right.
The buildings built in prior to the modern air conditioning and swamp coolers used obviously static ventilation. High ceilinged rooms, like the high school I went to summer school at was built this way, and it had those red tile roofs. And what they do is they help with ventilation, providing cooling air to help dissipate the heat gain of an attic space in a building.
All right.
Interesting.
Well, Benny, we have a lot to cover in the
Sure.
last segment here.
I just wanted to share that with you guys.
I appreciate it.
A little bit of trivial knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. And they figured out how to do a lot of that stuff a long time ago that we got away from
Yeah.
over time.
Well,
I'll cover something about the Mideast on a later date.
Okay. All right.
all
Thanks
right,
for
Benny.
calling
Have
in.
a
Thank
great
you guys,
day. Have
as
a great
always.
weekend.
Appreciate you.
Okay, man. Thank you.
You
Bye-bye.
bet. Bye-bye.
So we had the opportunity to visit with Benny's Neighborhood Association this past week.
Right.
And, it was amazing to me that as elementary as the things that I talked about, most of the people in the room came up to me or made an expression during the presentation of, we didn't know that.
Right.
No one tells us these things.
Right.
We didn't know that. And it's the most basic things that you assume. It's as simple as I made the comment about taking a certificate of insurance that someone would reach in a notebook or reach in their truck and hand you. It's not worth the paper that it's written on.
Yeah.
Okay? A certificate of insurance comes from the insurance carrier or the insurance company directly to you with your name on it.
Right.
All right?
Right.
And I asked, y'all know that, right? And they were all sitting here shaking their heads. No, we didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why we're here. We're trying to educate a little bit. But I think that the idea of understanding, and most of those people have already replaced their roofs. I wasn't there to sell a roof. I was there to educate people about
Right.
the next time around. Start thinking about now what it is that you're going to do to where you don't end up in this situation over and over and over again. And I think you start to see the head shake a little bit and the understanding that, we need to think about this now. We need to start moving in that direction. So let's we talked about hot weather and how hot it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that I got a little article here from a manufacturer. It says, risks associated with hot weather installs. Listen to this. When temperatures rise above 85 to 90 degrees, problems emerge.
Ooh.
85 to 90
Wow.
degrees, problems emerge due to excessive softening of asphalts. The heat causes the shingles to become pliable. Well, wait a minute, folks. We started out with an SBS modified asphalt shingle that is McRoof standard install, Northgate Climate Flex or Landmark Climate Flex. It's already soft.
Right. Yeah.
It's already soft.
Right.
This is talking about standard shingles, that the heat causes shingles to become pliable, making them easily damaged by foot traffic. Workers walking on the roof displace protective mineral granules embedded in the surface, which then accelerates the material degradation from ultraviolet light exposure. All that granule that's rubbing off on somebody's foot, okay, that's ending up in the gutter or that's ending up on the ground, it's exposing asphalt to UV. High temperatures also cause thermal sealant to become aggressive. Shingles stored in bundles on a hot roof deck fuse together before installation, making separation difficult or often leading to tearing. During installation, sealants become mushy, smearing rather than forming a bond between the two layers of shingles. Okay? There are people out there in the industry that think I make all this crap up, okay? That I just talk about this, just to talk. The heat also affects underlying components such as felt or synthetic underlayment if the felt and underlayments are not smooth. That's why we pay particular attention to how our roofs are underlaid. The heat can cause it to wrinkle or buckle. When soft new shingles are applied over these imperfections, they quickly seal to the underlayments, which locks in and permanently distorts the profile of the roof shingles.
Permanently distorts.
Permanently. There is no way to fix it. Okay? And if your roofer does this and tells you, oh, don't worry about it, it'll all lay down, it'll all even out, it'll all be beautiful in a month or two, and by then he's left the country. Okay? Don't buy that, people. It's not the case. So I will tell you that McRoof has not built a roof in the last 2 weeks. Okay? We have not built a roof in the last 2 weeks. I have friends, people who yesterday were on roofs building them because they were instructed by OID that if those roofs were not completed by this weekend, that the grant participants would lose their grant.
So weather conditions notwithstanding, they're going by some arbitrary calendar date instead of what's best for the roof.
Here's what I said, and we didn't even get a response. We sent an email to OID saying that our primary concern is always the safety of our crews. Secondly, the quality of the installation we provide our clients, and that under the conditions, we cannot assure that either of those will be acceptable to us. We are not building roofs.
Did you get a response?
No, but I've been told that I have a client or two who will lose their grant money, and that's not what that means. That's what they say. Is so and so will lose their grant money. No, what they're saying is that you, McRoof, will not get that check because that check doesn't go to so and so client. That check goes to me. All right. So they can say that the grant. What would that be? Grantee is not going to receive their money. It's really the contractor's not going to receive their money. So I had contractor buddies out building roofs yesterday in those temperatures. It said 111 in my truck. Hey,
I have to say very quickly before we wrap up that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 80000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. Do we have time for a quick surviving the storm?
Well, surviving the storm.
Make it quick.
Surviving the storm is let's just stay cool. It's time to call in for your winter installs, attic installs of radiant barrier. Okay. Because now's the time to get those booked up. We do those in January. We do those in December and January.
And you can call McRoof at 855-766-3405. And if you want to do an inspection, roof-rx.com, 8405-877-4-ROOF. Okay, Scott, Dad's wisdom.
Do the best you can until you know better. When you know better, do better. Maya Angelou.
The words of Maya Angelou. This has been episode number 68 of McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on freedom969.com. Or, something like that. Thank you, Scott McCullum. Thank you, Retro Radio Randy.
Thank you, Brenda Perkins, and thank you, Benny.
I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We will be back next week. The cold front is here. I got out my winter coat this morning.
Oh, my gosh, wasn't that was pretty amazing.
Enjoy it, but it's going to heat up again next week.
Have a great week, everybody.